Okay, there are two types of structures that can result from an sp hybridized atom. We are considering an sp hybridized carbon here, and we'll see the two types of structures that it can form. An sp hybridized carbon is shown here, another sp hybridized carbon is shown here, and the structure is 2-butyne. There are 4 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's but. And because in the 2 position there is an yne, a triple bond, it's called as a butyne. Now in this structure, there are 2 sp hybridized carbons both interacting with each other, bonding with each other. What happens is that in an sp, as you know, a sp hybridized carbon makes 2 single bonds which are 180 degrees, 2 sigma bonds which are 180 degrees from each other, and 2 pi bonds which are orthogonal to these. Now, because they both are interacting with each other, they share their double bonds also. So there is 1 sigma bond and 1 sigma bond for this sp carbon, and 1 sigma bond and 1 sigma bond for this sp carbon, and this pi and the orthogonal pi, both these pi bonds are shared by these 2 carbons. When that happens, these sp hybridized carbons interact to form an alkyne, a triple bond. Okay, a sigma bond and 2 orthogonal double bonds. Now, a sp hybridized carbon can also interact with, instead of another sp, it can interact with a sp2 hybridized atom. Again, in this case, we will take a carbon interacting with another carbon. The central carbon is sp hybridized, and it is forming 2 sigma bonds, one on this direction and one on this direction. But it forms 1 pi bond with this carbon, which you can see here, this pi bond, and the other pi bond, the orthogonal pi bond, is with the other carbon. Both these are sp2 hybridized. So this carbon is sharing 1 single bond with each of, it's forming 1 single bond with each of these carbons and 1 double bond with each of these carbons. The top and bottom one hydrogen, the double bond is with this carbon, and the on plane, the double bond in plane with this table, it forms with this carbon. You can see that these 2 hydrogen, the double bonds are orthogonal to each other. So this is the other type of structure that an sp hybridized carbon can form when it interacts with 2 sp2 hybridized atoms, in this case 2 carbons. So it is a C double bond C double bond C structure. These kind of structures are called alkenes. So alkynes and alkenes, 2 types of structures that can be formed by sp hybridized atoms, in this case carbon.